What is it about writing that appeals to me? I'd used up all my sick days and the 2 personal days they allowed us. But when the alarm went off and the baby started squalling and my wife threw back the covers to totter off to the bathroom in a hobbled 2-legged trot, I knew I wasn't going into work. It was as if a black shroud had been pulled over my face. My eyes were open, but I couldn't see. Or no, I could see. The pulsing LED display on the clock radio, the mounds of laundry and discarded clothes humped round the room like the tumuli of the dead, a hard driving rain drooling down the dark vacancy of the window. When I first started writing, I didn't quite know why I was doing it. I didn't realize that it is an obsessive compulsive disorder. Now I understand. Everyone has some gift for something or some interest in something, and once you are lucky enough to find it, and even luckier to have an audience for it, Nestor sobbed into the receiver, you feel compelled to do it for its own sake, for the play of it, for the joy of making art, but also because now you have an audience with expectations and you want to show them what comes next. The beauty of what I'm doing is anything that interests me, I can write a novel about it. I wanted to go to Alaska, so I wrote Drop City. I live in a Frank Lloyd Wright house, so I wrote The Women about Frank Lloyd Wright. I just wanted to know more about him. I could write anywhere because it's my job. But by organic in creating a novel, what I mean is there is no plan. It's spontaneous. The joy of writing a story is that anything that you tell me tonight, anything I experience, anything I read, can be incorporated into or made into a story the next day, and I'm right on top of it. Good literature is very musical. I've never written anything without music playing in the background, but to hear it aloud, to hear the beat of how it goes, it has to have a certain rhythm and beat. I don't know why this is. I've never written anything out by hand. I've always just typed it out. So the keyboard is the way that I think best. I work every day, not today, but I work every day pretty much. I only work on one thing at a time also, so that you have to see a project through to completion. A lot of people work on 2 or 3 things at once and go from one to the other. I think that gives you an excuse to bail out, so I try to fight it through. I wanted to be for students what my mentors were for me. I love the idea of what we've done at USC, and I love the talent of these students. With creative writing, it's new. Each class and each story and each discussion is utterly new. What we're doing is we're interpreting a given work of art by one of the students in the way we interpret the work of the professional writers we consider. We read Flannery O'Connor last week, now we're reading Joe's story. The student says nothing, just sits there and observes, and for his or her benefit, all they're getting out of it is, how does somebody interpret your work? That's it. But the writer doesn't say anything. The writer simply absorbs it and can ignore it all. Or if 10 people, including me, felt, gee, this ending is unclear because of X, Y, and Z, maybe the author would think, well, maybe they're right and I would change it. Or the author would think, well, they're ignorant, they don't get it. It's entirely up to them. They're the artist. What I love about fiction is I'm always eager to see what's going to come next. I never know what it will be. I'm hoping for a new story, to start a new story very shortly. I've been thinking about it. I've had enough time off since I finished the novel. I'll be interested to see what it is.